What if I told you that your fear, the thing that's been holding you back from starting that business, from improving your health, from getting more mobile, from making that move, is just a brain pattern? And what if I told you that you can change it? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to rewire fear into action. Not with motivation, not with positive thinking, but with neuroscience. I'm Vanya, and I have spent the last decade pushing my body and my mind to places that most people are terrified to go. I thrive in discomfort. I've done handstands on cliffs. I've hung off a bar for 23 minutes. I've moved countries with no plan. I started a business from scratch with no safety in it. And here's the truth. I wasn't born fearless. I was born terrified, just like you. The difference, I learned how to rewire my brain. And by the end of this video, you will too. So let's start with the most important thing that you need to understand. Fear is not real. And I know that sounds insane, especially when your heart is pounding, when your palms are sweating, and when your brain is screaming at you not to do something. But here is what's actually happening. Your brain is lying to you. Your brain has one job, and that is to keep you alive. And it is really, really good at it. So good, in fact, that it sees danger absolutely everywhere, even when there isn't any danger. This is your amygdala. It is a small almond-shaped part of your brain that acts like a smoke detector. Except this smoke detector goes off when you burn the toast, when someone walks past your house, when you think about walking past someone's house. It's so hypersensitive, and it's running your life. Every time you think about doing something uncomfortable, like doing something physical, posting that video, quitting your job, your amygdala fires away. It sends a signal to your body. Danger, threat, run. Your heart rate spikes, your breathing gets shallow, your muscles tense up. This is the fight or flight response. And here's the problem. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived threat. It responds the same way to a lion chasing you as it does to you thinking about public speaking. Same chemicals, same response, same panic. But here's the good news. Your brain is plastic, not literally, but neurologically. This is called neuroplasticity. It means that your brain can change, it can rewire, it can learn new patterns. And if your brain learned to be afraid, it can learn to be brave. So how do we do that? How do we rewire fear? There are 4 steps, and I'm going to walk you through all of them. Step number 1, recognize the pattern. Most people don't even realize they're afraid. They just avoid, they procrastinate, they make excuses. But avoidance is just fear in disguise. So the first step is to catch yourself, to notice the pattern. For me, back in the day, it was public speaking. Every time that I had to speak in front of a crowd of people, I would feel this wave of nausea. My throat would tighten up, my mind would just go completely blank. And I would tell myself stories. I'm not good at this. People will judge me. I'll mess up. I'll sound stupid. But those weren't facts. Those were fear patterns. So I started tracking them. Every time I felt that fear, I wrote it down. What triggered it? What story did I tell myself? What did I avoid? And once I could see the pattern, I could start to change it. So here's your first action step. For the next 7 days, every time you feel fear, write it down. What were you about to do? What story did your brain tell you? What did you avoid? Just notice that. Don't judge it. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to fix it yet. Just see it, observe it, because you can't change what you can't see. Step 2, reframe the fear. Once you can see the pattern, the next step is to change the meaning. Because fear isn't the problem. The story that you tell yourself about the fear is the problem. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're about to post a video online and you feel fear. Your brain says, people will judge me. I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to fail. That's the story. And that story makes you avoid. But what if you change the story? What if instead of people will judge me, you said, this is an opportunity to practice being seen? What if instead of saying, I'll look stupid, you said, I'm learning in public, and that's courageous? What if instead of saying, I'll fail, you said, failure is data. I'm collecting data. Same fear, different story, different outcome. This is called cognitive reframing, and it's one of the most powerful tools in psychology. You're not denying the fear. You are not pretending the fear isn't existing. You're just changing the lens through which you see it. Here's how you do it. Take one of the fear patterns that you wrote down earlier. Look at the story that your brain told you and ask yourself, what's another way to see this? Not a positive way, not a fake way, just a different way. A way that empowers you instead of paralyzing you. Write it down, say it out loud, repeat it until it feels more true than the old story. Because your brain believes what you tell it, so tell it something useful. Step 3, gradual exposure. Reframing is powerful, but it's not enough because your brain doesn't just need a new story, it needs new evidence. And the only way to get new evidence is to do the thing that you're afraid of doing. But here's the key, you don't have to do it all at once. And this is where most people fail. They try to go from zero to hero, from terrified to fearless, and they crash and burn. Instead, you need gradual exposure. Small, controlled steps that prove to your brain, this thing I'm afraid of, it's not actually dangerous. Let me give you an example. When I first started movement, I was terrified. I couldn't do anything. I was the worst in my community of movers. And I felt quite intimidated. I didn't want to show myself. I didn't want anyone to notice me. I wanted to kind of hide under a rock until I got better. But then I decided this isn't working. This is just making me absolutely paralyzed. And then I accepted the fact that sure, I'm not good at anything right now, but I'm going to go out there into that group of people and I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to express my weaknesses. I'm going to ask for regressions, and I am going to do that in front of them so they could help me in real time. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel embarrassed anymore. I didn't feel constricted. I actually felt so much more free because I had accepted the fact that I'm a student. I am learning. It is okay to suck. It's okay to be uncomfortable. My only job here is to show up for myself, accept the fact that I'm working on myself, and get better every single day. If you're afraid of movement, if you're afraid of how your body will look in public, if you're afraid to train in front of other people, just break that pattern by going out there, asking one person to give you some advice, how to use the machine, how to do a movement, and practice it until you get better. You will overcome these self-limiting beliefs to a point that it's going to get so big, you're going to get so much more confident, and you will be so much better at what you're trying to do. Step 4, build a fear-resilient mindset. Here is the final piece. Fear is not something that you eliminate. It is something that you learn to dance with. Because fear will always be there. As long as you are growing, as long as you are pushing boundaries, as long as you are alive, fear will always show up. But the goal isn't to make fear disappear. The goal is to change your relationship with it, to stop seeing fear as a stop sign and start seeing it as a compass. Because fear doesn't show up randomly. It shows up at the edge of your comfort zone, at the threshold of growth, at the doorway to the life that you actually want. So when you feel fear, instead of running, ask yourself, what is this fear protecting me from? And is that protection serving me? Most of the time, the answer is no. Your fear is protecting you from embarrassment, from failure, from discomfort. But those things, they are not dangerous. They are just uncomfortable. And discomfort is the price of growth. So here is the mindset shift. Stop trying to eliminate fear. Start using it as a signal. When you feel fear, say, good, this means I'm at the edge. This means that I'm growing. This means that I'm alive. And then move anyway. Not because you are fearless, but because you are committed to becoming the person that you want to be. Here is a practice that I use every single day. I do one thing that scares me every day. Not something reckless, not something stupid, just something really uncomfortable. For you, that could be a cold shower, a difficult conversation, eating something that you wouldn't normally want to eat, posting a vulnerable video, trying a new movement that you've never done before. Just do one thing every single day, and over time, the tolerance for discomfort will expand. Since I've started doing this, my capacity for courage has grown. My relationship with fear has transformed completely, because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. And the more that you practice it, the stronger it gets. So let me leave you with this. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your teacher. It shows you where you are playing small. It shows you where you're hiding, where you're letting old stories run your life. And when you learn to see fear as information instead of a threat, everything will change for you. You're going to stop avoiding, you're going to start acting, you're going to stop waiting for the fear to go away, and you will start moving with it. And that's when you become unstoppable. That's when you become unshakable. So here is your challenge. Pick one fear, just one. Use the 4 steps that I gave you, recognize the pattern, reframe the story, take one small step, and commit to doing one uncomfortable thing every day for the next 30 days. I promise you, your brain will rewire, your confidence will grow, and the life that you've been too afraid to live, you're going to start living it. I personally use physicality and the idea of movement to lead myself into discomfort, to challenge myself, to keep my body strong, agile, and resilient. And it really helps me develop a stronger mind and a detachment from fear. If you relate to content like this on mindset, on movement, on building a life of freedom and resilience, subscribe to this channel and share it with someone that you care about. I post every week. And if you're ready to take your physical and your mental resilience to the next level, check out the descriptions below. You can have access to the mobility toolkit, or you can get access to one-to-one coaching. Because it's not just about moving better. It is about becoming the kind of person who doesn't let fear run their life. Fear won't stop you. Not anymore. You've got the tools now. Now go use them. I'll see you in the next video.